The easiest way to begin tuning vocals in Melodyne Essential is to use the correct pitch macro. And this acts upon either selected notes or all notes. So we can make a selection, and we can select as well by clicking on the note grid here, and it'll select all notes on the key that's selected, and we can command click to add to the selection. But I'm just going to leave everything unselected and start tuning everything all together. We use this over here to bring up the correct pitch macro. And we can start by just tuning the centers of the pitches, and we'll see them moving slightly into the notes that are determined here. So let's listen to that.
When the demons are gone, when the demons are gone.
So that's sounding pretty good. We can also tune the pitch drift, which refers to the natural variations in pitch throughout the duration of a note.
When the demons are gone.
So that's sounding nice. Now you'll notice though that I have this snap to B major, which was disabled. So let me put that on, and now the notes will snap to the notes that conform to that key. So for example, keep your eye on this note over here. It's now going down to this scale tone.
When the demons are gone.
So now I've got this whole tone interval between these two notes instead of the semitone that it was before. I'm going to leave it like that. Now we can also manually adjust the pitch of notes simply by dragging up and down.
Gone.
And we can use the Option key to override the grid.
Gone.
So that's how we can manually tune notes. Let's bring it back up.
Gone.
And I'm going to zoom a little bit. I'm going to zoom in on the note transition between these notes. When I position the cursor at the end, we'll see it becomes a kind of trim note position tool. So I can change the transition between the actual note segments. And again, they're snapping to the time grid here. So I'm going to hold down Option to override that and get a freer movement. And let's see what that sounds like.
When the demons are gone.
So I can change how long I want that scoop to be. I don't think I like it that long.
When the demons are gone, and I'm left to my...
Now here we have an interesting phenomenon. This note is detected at the wrong pitch. It sounds right, but it's displaying incorrectly. So we can correct that kind of note detection in note assignment mode. We click on this little wrench icon here, and now we see outlines of other possible notes that this could be. And Melodyne has determined or guessed that this is the right pitch, but it's actually this one. So if I double click here, it's now going to snap it back up there. And same thing with this one. So now if I go back into my regular editing mode, that's the way it'll look. Nothing will sound different though.
And I'm left to myself to move.
Now here we have self, where we have a little bit of a pitch scoop between it. Maybe I want to create two notes out of that. When I position the tool like that, I can double click and separate the notes.
To myself to...
And now that they're separate, I can control the transitions.
Myself to...
A little bit more of a scoop in that self, so that sounds a bit more dramatic. I can try it even more.
To myself to move on.
So those are some of the ideas of how you can edit in Melodyne to not only correct the pitch, but change the timing of the different syllables of notes and even between the notes. For example, maybe I want to change the transition between this note and this note.
I'm left to myself to...
We have more of the S in self. Before we look at time correction, let's do one more little rhythmic change.
Among faces.
I want to get this a bit longer. I'm going to hold down Option.
Among faces.
So they're a little bit more even. So let's zoom a little bit, and everything is sounding pretty much in tune. But if we want to change the timing of it, I kind of like this loose, lazy, ballady feel. But if we do want to change the timing, we have a correct timing macro here next to the pitch macro. where we can bring it up and drag the slider to bring the notes closer to a grid that we can set here. For example, maybe I'll set eighth notes, and we can do it by percentage, but I'll do it dramatically just to illustrate how this can have a nice influence over the timing. Let's click OK and listen in context.
When the demons are gone and I'm left to myself to move on among faces of thieves and so many who grieve over everything and nothing at all.
So those are some of the things you can do with Melodyne Essential. I'll see you for more in the next video.